I touched on this in the last video. The people that say, well, wait till you've been together for 10 years. Wait till you've been together for 20 years or 30 years. Like, wait till you see what it's like then. You know,
in my opinion, it should be just as good, if not better.
The point is, it doesn't matter. It's not a contest. This isn't a contest. Like, who's together the longest and somebody gets a trophy at the end like that. Like, oh, the being together the longest trophy.
I think if it's the quality of the relationship is much more important than the amount of time.
It doesn't matter if you're together for 5 years, 50 years, or 5 weeks, or 5 minutes. It's the quality, like she said, it's the quality of the relationship. How beautiful are the moments together in your life? If they're not beautiful, if you can't work it out, why stay in misery? Go find beauty wherever it is and experience it.
I always said I would rather be miserable and alone than miserable and with a guy that's obviously making me miserable.
People say, well, you need to go through together thick and thin and true, for short-term stuff, yeah. But if the person is just not going to change, because people really generally don't change. People are always waiting for someone to change. They don't change. People usually don't change. So, okay, if after a year or 2 years or 3 years, they're still the same, don't expect them to change 5 years, 10 years down the road. And people wait, and they're miserable. Now, I know how some of you women are going to take this. Oh, you're promoting to just dump the woman when you don't want her anymore. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when it's not right for the man or the woman. If it's not clicking. And the other thing is, you could be perfect when you get together. Perfect. Right for each other at that time and place. But people evolve and they grow and they change at different speeds. That doesn't mean it's a failure. That's another thing. People think separation is a failure. It's not. It's just part of life. Things, kids leave home. That's a change. It's not bad. That's not a failure.
I think when there's somebody else in there that you don't like and that's making you miserable, you need to cut it. It's like a cancer growth. You need to cut.
Yeah, a lot of women are afraid of security. Like he's paying the bills. He's got a roof over my head. But that's...
Well, I don't know. It's not like people are going to die in this country. I always said, if I'm broke when I'm 70, 75, 80, 85, I'm just going to be one of those little old ladies working in a grocery store. I mean, before I rely on anybody else... little old ladies, the elderly are working. If you look around, they're supporting themselves. I don't know why and when you depend on somebody to take care of you, and you don't like them, you grow very resentful towards them.
Exactly.
I've seen girlfriends and mothers and sisters who shall remain nameless, grow so resentful of their significant others because they were forced to be with that person because they were dependent on them for security. But if they were to win the lottery, believe me, they'll be out of there on the next, within seconds.
Yeah.
So that's so sad for the person, doing the supporting because their lives are miserable.
If people are just not right for each other after a while, and they try to make it work, but it just doesn't. I mean, come on. And it's not a contest. It's not like, okay, be miserable. There's people that are together for 50 years. I see this all the time. When we go to restaurants, I see people sitting there, the couples, never saying a word. They're just on their cell phones, or they're just quietly eating, but they're not saying anything. And I see this with old people. I see it with young people. I see people that just, young people in their 20s.
What I like to do is when I think of things I want to talk to you about or that are interesting that I like to discuss with you throughout the day, I go and write it in my phone under notes. And then it's nice because then when we're sitting at dinner, I pull it out and I'm like, oh, that's right. I have like 10 different topics that I want to speak to him about.
We have so much to talk about. I mean,
and it's nice to remember because, sometimes you don't always remember what you want to say to that person later on in the day when they're free. So I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
works for me.
Yeah, when we go out to a restaurant, it's just like a bunch of turkeys the whole time.
I'm like, am I talking too much? No, you just told me last night, you're talking too much. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, we don't have a shortage of conversation, but it's just funny, these people that just sit, they've been together for many years, 30 years, there's not much left to say.
Well, that's the problem. They're together too long. They need to separate and go out and experience the world, and then when they come together later, they can discuss what they've seen seen and learned, and
That scares people. That they think, oh, that's just abandoning somebody because they're boring after a while. That's not what we're talking about.
everybody needs time apart. I'm a firm believer that couples need time apart.
Even if it's a few hours or a few days,
Sure.
whatever, you need your space, and then when and then you miss the person and you come back. But, the thing I think the greatest gift you can give somebody is the freedom to be themselves, to discover life, to be themselves, to express themselves. And if they come back or they stay,
Then
that's the added bonus. I mean, can't force somebody to stay,
so that. I hope we addressed what, because I've heard that a lot too. Wait till you guys have been together for 10 years. Actually, the first time I heard that was a few months into our relationship. A woman said, wait till you've been together 5 years.
Yeah, you're having too much fun. Wait till you've been together.
And I do understand that mindset, because people do tend to have a lot of fun together in the beginning, but then
they realize who they're with.
then they realize who they're with, yeah, or they settle into their routines. But it's always, I think, playtime and fun is very important.
People see what they want to see when they get together, and then after a while the reality hits in, and they think, they see the differences that that they close an eye to, and that's going to change. I'm sure that won't be there in a few years. No, it's probably going to get more intense.
They say the things that were once cute are now annoying.
Yeah. But for us, it's like we had the same everything right from the beginning, and it's not going to change.
Whenever you do something embarrassing, or you. It's so endearing to me that I know I love some, that's love when, what's a good example? I can't.
All right, so that's it. We just want to say that how long you're with somebody is not a measure of success or failure. How happy you are with somebody is what matters. There's people that glimpse at each other just passing. Just two people passing in life on a street. They see each other for 5 seconds and they smile. And they remember that smile for the rest of their life. That was a 5-second interaction. That was a 5-second relationship. It could be that, or it could be 50 years. It could be a lifetime. It doesn't matter. It's how special are the moments in your life.
Agreed.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Aww. So that's really what matters, is how special are the moments in your life. And if you're not having the special moments, then do whatever it takes to get those special moments, because you don't know if you're coming back. You might come back as a cockroach, and you were going to wish you had the great moments as a human being. Whatever. Okay. You're beautiful.
I love you.
Yeah. So come back in 10 years and we'll make the same video again.
Yeah.
And then in 20 years and 50 years. You know what I say to those people?
All right.
See you in the next video.
Bye.